Hi everyone, it's Karen Galvan. Hope y'all are having a great day today. This is day 2 of our free 3-day mindset challenge. And because today is Wednesday, we're doing a live Q&A format for the lesson. Every Wednesday at noon Central, which would be 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm going to be doing a live Q&A session just like this. So it just so happens that our free challenge and my live Q&A Wednesday coincide, so we're doing those together today. If you have questions that you would like to submit for future live Q&A Wednesdays, you can do that one of two ways. The first way, which you can do, of course, 24/7, is email me. And if you look in the description box to the right, you'll see my email address. If you forget, but it's heymomentummindset@gmail.com. So it's like, hey, Momentum Mindset, I have a question. Only you're not on the phone, you're email. Okay. So you can do it that way, or you can just show up for the live video and comment your questions right there. Don't worry, you are not being recorded. It's just me. We only see your comments, so no worries there. A couple quick things. First of all, I'm really excited about today's lesson because it's all about shame, which is everyone's favorite topic, right? No, that's not why I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because it's really personal to me and I have so much to share. Like even like the last 2 minutes before I got on here with you guys, I was like, wait, I want to include this other set of information. So I'm actually bringing more to the table today than I had kind of planned on in my head, but that's just kind of who I am. So I'm not really a spontaneous person, but if I see something that I think is going to help y'all, then I'm going to add it in. So I am checking my hair here. Got little bald spots going on. So does anyone else, this is like totally off topic, does anyone else use like eyeshadow to kind of okay, because that's totally going on right now. Anyways, where was I going? Oh yes, to kind of recap what's going on. Hi, whoever joined me. I'm trying to see from my phone like who has joined me, and I still am like a kindergartner with this. Anyway, to kind of recap our week, this is our launch week of the Momentum Mindset community. So if you're here, you're like, this is a historic moment, guys. Like you're one of the first, I think we have like 53 people now. So you're one of our first 100 to be in the group, and I'm really glad you're here. So far, we have talked about why I created this community. On Monday, just kind of gave you guys like a welcome. And that video, I think, is pinned to the top. So if you're on your mobile phone, I hate this about Facebook, but if you're on your mobile phone, the pinned post doesn't actually show up. You just see like a tiny little line that says view pinned post. So if you're on your mobile, if you're on your iPhone or whatever, click the pinned post like right under that big yellow banner, and you should see my welcome email, which explains a lot. I also talked about, who is it that you know that might be interested in this community that you would invite to join us. Yesterday was day 1 of our 3-day free mindset challenge, and we talked, sorry, I'm totally looking at notes. We talked about your island A or your before. Essentially, it's where you are now in your health and fitness journey, and we talked about what is on your island A, right? What is on your deserted island that you're stuck in? What's there with you? What kind of thoughts are you having? What kind of maybe mental baggage do you have? What's making your island A your personal island A? We did have an assignment, so raise your hand if you've already done your assignment. I did actually link or post or upload, I don't know the right word to use for that, in the files section. I did create just a little worksheet for y'all for day 1 of the challenge, just if that helps you kind of get your thoughts together. It's not like a requirement. I'm not going to like check to see if you used it or not. It's really just a tool. And honestly, I'll probably make something like that for today's challenge as well. So your assignment was to basically tell me the story of your relationship with your body. What is What are maybe some memories you have that have stuck with you, things people have told you growing up, or incidences that happened, incidents that have happened in your life that you feel have kind of shaped how you view your body and your relationship with your body. Yeah, so for the rest of those like specific questions, again, look at the worksheet or just go ahead and find the day 2 video. The day 1 video, which is on this page somewhere. So you can actually search for things, guys. I will get to the material here in just a second, but you can search to the left if you look under where it says like discussion, videos, files, all that. There should be a little box with a magnifying glass that says search this group. If you're ever looking for a post and you can't find it, you can type in like day 1 mindset challenge or whatever, and you will find it that way. Also, a really cool thing that I learned is if you type in just that little star, like the little asterisk, like Shift 8, in the search this group box, it will put all of the existing posts in chronological order for you. So you'll see the first thing at the top, I think, or at the bottom. Well, anyway, they'll be in chronological order. So, extra information for you. Okay, so yesterday was day 1 of our challenge. We talked about your island, right? Your body story. So if you haven't watched the day 1 video, guys, I highly recommend just watching that first. If you're watching the recording of today, this video right now, I would just go ahead and like pause that, go back, watch the day 1 video, and then come back and watch this one because it's going to make a lot more sense. You will have done, the work and the mental framework to get here. So this 3-day challenge, we're basically talking about how you think, how you feel, and tomorrow we're going to talk about how you should act or what you should do to take action to improve your health and fitness. So today we're going to focus on feeling. So I asked you to bring your pencils and your feelings. We are going to talk about shame today, and we're going to talk about why shame is so destructive. We're going to talk about what shame sounds like. How do you know what you're thinking or feeling is a shameful thought or feeling? And then this thing that I kind of decided last minute I wanted to share with y'all, we're going to talk about kind of more in depth about why shame is so destructive. And I'm going to be sharing with you some information, some really great like soul searching information really, from a counseling session that I did about a year ago. I actually listened to the counseling session CDs, so I didn't actually meet the doctor who did this, but I had someone kind of like walking me through it. So I have a lot of things that I want to work through in my personal life and things that have happened in my life, as I'm sure you have as well. But anyway, I'm going to be sharing with you some really great points to ponder from that counseling session. So I feel like I have done a very, very long introduction here, but let's go ahead and jump in. This is day 2 of the Mindset Challenge, and today we're going to be talking about shame. So the first thing I want to do is let you guys know that a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about today as far as the content itself is basically the core or like the baby that grew up to become the Shame Busters freebie that you're going to find in your files section today. So if you haven't already accessed that, in the files section is a free ebook that I put together for y'all called Shame Busters, and it is actually the grown-up version of a little thing I had put together about a month ago just as a random video share for another health group I'm in. So anyway, I shared yesterday about a little story about some short shorts and a memory that I had of my first thought that my body might be, something to be ashamed about. So you might be thinking of some stories today as I'm sharing. So let's quickly just talk about what does shame sound like. And as I go through some of these, I want you to think about, have you had this thought before? Is this something you struggle with? But basically, I'm going to be saying, here's something that shame says. This is what shame's voice sounds like if you're having thoughts like these or feelings like these. And I want to talk about why a lot of these, well, all of these things are essentially total crap. And why we need to be aware that not everything that we feel about ourselves is the truth. So I am going to be looking at my laptop, guys, so just bear with me as I might be a little off center here. So the first thing that you might hear shame saying in your life is, everybody sees my muffin top, right? We all have, well, not all, have a little extra pouch of skin around our waist. Everybody sees what's wrong with me, basically. Everyone is looking at my giant softball arms or my muffin top, or everyone is noticing that, you know, my butt's a little big, or whatever it is that we're insecure about ourselves. Shame makes us feel like everyone else sees those things too, and everyone else is thinking about us the things that we think about us. You know, so much so that they're talking about us behind our back, and they're saying all of these things. And did you see her today? She looked crazy in her shirt. Let's debunk that. Let's talk about why that's total crap. First of all, are you like a celebrity or something? I mean, are you that important that people are just thinking about you and talking about you all the time? Shame makes us feel that way. Shame makes us so focused on ourselves that we think everyone else is focused on us too, like we're that important. Truth be told, people are so insecure about themselves that this much of their time is probably spent thinking about you, at least the way that you fear they are. So shame just gives us that distorted sense of kind of our own importance. So I'm a pretty blunt person, guys. I mean, I'm growing in my ability to be tactful, but some of these things I'm just going to be putting them out there, and I'm going to ask you to wrestle with it if you need to. So another thing that we might hear shame saying in our lives is, okay, well, you know, my body just isn't what it needs to be. The less of me there is, the better. You know, I just need to be smaller. I just need to hide in big drapey clothing. I just need to stand in the back in the group photos and let me turn this way and suck in and turn and do all this contorting. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be taking up space. I need to hide. I need to be less than. I need to shrink back because in my mind, I'm not the perfect version of myself yet. I am totally guilty of this. In fact, I'm totally guilty of probably all of these, thinking all of these things and feeling all of these things, and that's where this came from. Truth be told, you're worth, I mean, you know this, you're worth more than what's on the outside. You're worth more than what you look like. One of the major turning points for me in my health and fitness journey in the past year was the holidays, these past holidays, and you know, those family photos that you take, and you're full of like cake and turkey and all of that, and then you take a picture, and then later you look at the picture and it's out there in social media, and you're like, oh my gosh, do I really look like that? So to bust this, I really just want to kind of make light of it in a sense. Like, you know that you're worth more than the sum of your parts. I actually did a little Googling just out of curiosity because I heard something about this once. If we were just to like take you and your physical self, like all your, you know, glasses and your jewelry and your, you know, expensive rings and all of that, if we were to take all of that away and just look at you and your like raw materials, like totally impersonal, your skin, your bones, your nutrients and minerals that are in your body, how much are you worth? If you really want to make your worth about your physical self, okay, how much are you worth? Science tells us that anywhere between $1.60 and $5 is how much you're worth, if that's what you're basing your worth on. So just kind of keep that in perspective. If you're going to go there, go all the way. You're worth $5. Okay. Tongue in cheek, people, tongue in cheek. Okay. Another thing that shame tells us is, you know, hey, it's pretty clear that nothing I'm doing is working. I'm working out, I'm exercising, I'm, you know, cutting out sugar, I'm eating celery for every meal. Like, nothing is working. Like, look at me, clearly no change. why do I even try, right? Why do I even try? This, and we'll talk about this a little later in the video, but this is one of the things that shame does, guys. Shame limits us, and shame distorts our view of what we're capable of. Let's talk about why that's crap. How many ways are there to lose weight? How many ways are there to get in shape? I mean, let's see. Let's see if we can name them. Raise your hand if you've participated in any of the following. Weight Watchers, the Atkins diet, the paleo diet. That's how I pronounce it. Is it paleo? Whatever. That one, the caveman diet. There is the counting calories. There's the apple cider vinegar thing that may be kind of left over from the 70s. There is this like detox thing with cayenne pepper and lemon juice and syrup and oh my goodness, like there are 80 bazillion ways to lose weight or attempt to lose weight. You can do cardio, you can do a spin class, you can join the YMCA and use their gym, you can go lift weights, you can go pretend to lift weights because you don't know what you're doing. You can get a gym membership and never use it. I have that story. A couple of those stories actually. So yeah, for every letter of the alphabet, there is a way that you can attempt to lose weight. So let's say you've tried a couple of those. Let's say plan A didn't work, plan B didn't work. You're currently on plan C and you don't think that's working either. Shame is telling you to stop. And shame is telling you, that's it, you're done, you tried enough, you put in your time, give up, nothing is going to work. But listen, just because plan A didn't work, just because plan B didn't work, why does that mean that plan C won't? Why does that mean that as you learn and as you fine-tune what you see is working or not working for your body, who's to say that plan K down the road won't work? Who's to say that if you give up, that the very next thing you would have tried, who's to say that that wouldn't have worked? Everybody really responds differently to diet and exercise. And I'm going to talk about this more in later weeks, but everyone has different body types, guys, and everybody is laid out differently as far as what you need to eat to lose weight and what kind of exercise you need to do to lose weight. Women and men, as you know, lose weight differently. And so your way of doing things may not be working for you because you're trying to do it the way someone else did it. So I want to talk about just being persistent and not letting shame tell you that it's just not going to happen for you. Another thing that shame says is, okay, this is really personal for me. My sister's not in this group, so I can share this, but some of you might know her. Something must be wrong with me. My sister's always been naturally thin, but I've always been the overweight one. Okay, can any of you relate to that? My goodness, this is so hard. Growing up in a house where, I can watch her just eat anything and nothing happens. Like, she's still thin. Her diet right now, I think, consists of like Pop-Tarts, cereal, waffles, tacos. I'm not around her all the time. I don't know exactly what she eats, but oh my goodness. If I ate those stuff every day, like that stuff every day, it would just be all over for me. So carbs are not so much my friend, but her body type works really well with carbs. So shame tells us that we're wrong because someone who shares a lot of our same DNA, they're doing it, they're okay. What's wrong with you? You've got the same gene makeup that they do pretty much. What is wrong with you? Why are you broken? Let's bust that. Let's talk about why that's crap. Science says that even members of the same family can have different body types and different body issues as a result. I didn't know this until a couple of months ago. But my sister has a totally different body type than I do. And I'm not talking about, she's this shape and I'm this shape, or that's true, but her body is just constructed differently. if you go to the freebie where I posted a lot of these links and information, guys, you're going to get a link to check out what I'm talking about here and to figure out your own somatotype. But yeah, we're talking about somatotypes and why my somatotype or my body type is different than hers, and why I need to eat differently and exercise differently, and I carry my weight in different places than she does, and why if she were to want to get stronger and get in shape, you know, her struggle is probably going to be more with putting on muscle and developing strength. Whereas my struggle is going to be shedding fat and slimming down and that kind of thing. So her body type is an ectomorph body type. Mine is an endomorph body type. There's also a mesomorph body type, which is more like, think about a gymnast, where they're just naturally kind of more broader shoulders and more muscular, just naturally. But I'm not going to go deeply into that because I will be talking about that in later videos. And you can also check out the link to what I'm talking about in, actually I think it's on page 9 of the ebook. That's in the files for you. So number 5, oh, this is kind of what I shared about yesterday. Shame says, what my parents and teachers told me about my body growing up, the comments they made about me and how I look, that must be true. Now, maybe you don't come out and like literally say that to yourself verbatim, but you kind of feel it, right? Like when we grow up, we get, let's face it, like as kids, we get our identity largely from our parents and the feedback that we get from them, what they, you know, say, good boy, good girl, good job, you're good at this, you're so strong, you're so fast, you're so creative. And I am not a, you know, child psychologist or anything. I did study it a little bit in my teaching, for my teaching program back in the day, but a lot of what we focus on and choose to develop as we grow up, I mean, that's got to come from the feedback that we get from our parents, right? Like if your dad tells you that, you know, you're a horrible athlete or communicates that to you, are you more or less likely to pursue sports, you know? If they are always praising your grades and your smarts and your ability to figure things out, are you more or less likely to pursue academics, right? So I think that the images in the, sorry, I just got a low battery, boop, message. I still got 20%, so I'm good. A lot of the messages that we got growing up really do shape kind of the mental image that we have of ourselves and the emotional image that we have about ourselves. What does truth say? If that's what shame says that we must be what we were told we are. Truth says, honestly, other people's comments say so much more about what they think, so much more about their concept of the world and their beliefs, which, I mean, who's to say they're right? They say so much more about their beliefs than they do about what's really true, especially what's really true about you. Yesterday I talked about my short shorts story and how my dad could have phrased something a little differently, a lot differently, in response to a purchase of Daisy Duke shorts that I bought as an 11-year-old. He could have responded a lot better than he did. And I think that would have really, it really would have made a difference in the way that I saw my body from then on. I'm not saying I would never ever get another negative comment or never be insecure, but like that's the first time I remember being like, oh, what's wrong with my legs? Like, why not with my legs, you know? And I'm just saying, that's how he chose to phrase it. Maybe that's how he saw my body. Maybe he got nervous because it was the first time he was talking to his pubescent daughter about her body and just froze up and said the first thing. I don't know. I love you, Dad. Love you. Number 6. Some people are just born with nice bodies, shame says. I guess I'm just not one of those people. Why am I even trying? My body's not going to look like that. My body, I'm just not one of the lucky few. I did not win the genetic lottery. Okay, that's bullcrap, because I'm not here speaking to you if you have, you know, major injury or if you have a chronic illness. Like, I cannot even pretend to understand or feel what you feel and what you go through on a daily basis. For example, I know people with like muscular, I feel like I'm going to say it wrong, not muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis. They face pain and physical limitations usually on a daily basis that I will never comprehend or even like pretend to comprehend. But for the majority of us who have pretty normally functioning bodies, they are limiting us only to the extent that we're letting them limit us. When I first started my health and fitness journey in late 2011, guys, I started with this super easy, like looking at it now, a super easy workout program. But it beat me up that day. Like, I was out of breath. I had to take like all these breaks. I think I threw up afterwards. Like, it was hard for me. Like, I could not do a push-up. I couldn't even get through that 30-minute workout without like feeling like I was dying. But as the weeks went on and as the months went on, I could do 30 plus push-ups. I could hold these, yoga positions, whereas before I would just be like, whoop, fall over. So what my body could do on day 1 was radically different than what my body was able to do on day 30, day 60, at the end of the 90 days. My body limited me on that day, but I kept pushing it. And the next day I could do a little bit better and a little bit better. And so at the end of that 90 days, my body didn't limit me the way it did before. I mean, could I do a pull-up at the end of the 90 days? No, I don't even think I can do a pull-up now. I actually have to try that. It's been a while. Been focusing on my upper body strength. But I say all that to say, where you're at now, where your body's at now, is not a picture of your capability. It's not a picture of your potential ability. It's just a snapshot. If you go to the free ebook, you're going to see a lot of snapshots throughout the book. It's just a picture. It's just a capturing a moment in time. It's just a freeze frame. Your body is not at its final, destination. It's not reached its potential yet. So don't let up here and up here dictate or limit what you're going to be able to do here. Okay. Number 7, this one could be a little touchy. And I definitely don't mean to trigger anyone here. I don't personally know all of you. And I want to be really sensitive if this is something that you've struggled with before or maybe are currently struggling with. Praise God, I don't feel like this is something that I have personally struggled with, at least not that I know of in my past, but I could see that I could get there for sure. Growing up, I could see that I had the personality, that very obsessive, perfectionistic tendency, and that I could have easily gone there. So I want to kind of tread lightly here and be sensitive, but shame says I can never truly forgive myself for letting that eating disorder overcome me, for letting it control me, for letting myself get to the point where I resorted to these unhealthy tactics. Guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I do not have a medical degree. If this is something you're currently struggling with and you have not got help, please reach out. You can go to, let me see, I put this in the ebook as well, so you can click the link on page 14, but you can visit websites such as nationaleatingdisorders.org/treatment to find a treatment center near you, or you can call their helpline at 1-800-931-2237. I'm just putting that out there for you since we're talking about it. Shame says, you're marked for life. You're scarred for life. You did something unhealthy. You can't forgive yourself. You're broken, right? Again, I want to tread lightly and I want to be sensitive, but I want to say this. So you went there, you saw what you believed was a problem. Whether or not you really were or are overweight, I don't know you. You saw a perceived problem and you took an action. I mean, let's just stop there for a second. And I'm not saying that you did a great job by choosing an unhealthy way to pursue change, but you pursued change. You didn't just sit on the couch and cry about it. You did try to do something about it. So that very specific piece I want to applaud you for. We're not going to get stuck there, right? Where you're at now is you just need to find healthier ways to pursue change. Okay? When you know better, you'll do better. All right. Number 8. I've got this one and another one, so 2 more left. Number 8, shame says, oh my gosh, I will never look like Beyonce, Scarlett Johansson, Kate Moss, Serena Williams, whoever you're idolizing. I'll never look like those women in the movies. I'll never look like those women in the fashion magazines or on TV. I get it. They've been around for decades, right? The idea of the perfect, stereotypical model body. Guys, what the heck is a perfect body? What the heck is an ideal body? If we go back to, let's say, the golden age of Hollywood, right? Like the 40s and the 50s, a lot of these women who were superstars, they did not look like this. They were not itsy bitsy teeny tiny. They were not bean poles. They were not these shapeless waifs. These women had some curves. These women had some shape. They could actually hold up a dress. I'm thinking, of course, quintessential Hollywood, right? Marilyn Monroe. I'm thinking Elizabeth Taylor. I'm thinking, I want to say Greta Garbo. I might have the wrong person in my mind, but these women had good shapes. They had meat on their bones. They had curves, and they owned it. And at that time, that was the Hollywood ideal. I read that Marilyn Monroe was a size 12 or 14. Hey, that's my size right now. Somewhere awkwardly between a 12 and 14. She was the it girl. She was the sex symbol. Why today is that different? Media, right? Confidence is all about embracing what makes you unique, right? Maybe you're not the curvaceous person. Maybe that's not how your body was created. What is your body? What's awesome about it? Like, embrace what makes you you, and stop trying to believe that there's one model or one mold that beauty has to fit into, because it's just crap, guys. Just crap. I did want to share a fun fact. If you take all the women, and I think it may be just looking at American women, but if you took a sample of women, let's say 100 women, and that represents all the women, only 5 of those women, right? Only 5% of those women are going to have a body that looks like what you normally see in mainstream TV, media, movies, magazines. So that means that 95% of us do not have the ideal body. So let's make that a little more like realistic. Let's say you're at work and there's 20 women there in a meeting, right? So all women's meeting. Only one of those women, if you take the ratio and kind of scale it down, only one of those women might have what you consider to be this perfect body, or this made for the movies body. So that means that you and the other 18 people in the room, like, y'all are the majority, okay? So there's one maybe ideal in media, but that does not mean that you're left out. That does not mean that you're the odd one out. It means that you're like most of the other women. Number 9. Shame tells us that we're alone, that no one understands how we feel, that we're going through our weight issues alone, that everybody else has got it together, and she's on this program, and she's on that program, and, she cut out soda, and she dropped 20 pounds in a week. I mean, that's totally unhealthy and ridiculous and unrealistic, but you get the idea, right? Everyone else has got it going on. No one can relate to me. No one can understand how it feels to be in this body and to sit down on the couch and just instinctively grab a throw pillow to put in front of your muffin top. Like, shame says that you're the only one and that everyone else just has no clue and can't relate to you. That is crap. That's crap, because you are so not the only one who feels that way. I have felt that way most of my life. I imagine a lot of you, if you're in this community, today, you have felt that way. So if you felt that way and you felt that way, but you're the only one, that doesn't jive. That doesn't go together. I have a friend from college. Trust me, this is going to tie in. I have a friend from college who, I mean, she's gorgeous. She still looks the way she did in college, and that was what, like 20 years ago? Almost. Tall, beautiful, thin, no pooches, or I don't know every inch of her body, obviously, ew, but I mean, from my view of her, like, you're good, you're fine, you have nothing to be insecure about, right? So she and another friend of mine were engaged, and it was coming up on the time for their wedding, and I just remember asking her one day, like, hey, are you insecure about anything? Like, are you scared at all about, like, your wedding night, and, like, any part of you that you're, like, scared of your husband seeing, or being like, oh, I hope he doesn't notice this, or I'm, like, self-conscious, or whatever. And her response was, yeah, there's, like, this little scar on my leg, and I just think it's really unattractive, and I'm kind of insecure about that. And, like, I had to, like, literally keep myself from busting out in terrified laughter, because, oh my goodness, that's your insecurity? A little scar? Like, when I thought about all of my insecurities at the time, I was just like, please. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Even the person that you're looking at that you think, she's got it going on, she's got, you know, flat tummy, she's got a nice butt, she's, you know, got the right proportions, or whatever secret things that you think about women, other people, even the prettiest, thinnest, most together one in the room has raging insecurities as well. So, shame says a lot of stuff, guys. I want to talk about now, what does shame sound like for you? What kind of things do you feel about yourself, about your body in particular, since that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the physical. What has shame been telling you? Last night, or yesterday, I gave you a challenge in the day one video to do some free writing and really think about your own relationship with your body and your own story. Maybe some of these shameful thoughts and feelings came up for you. Maybe you need to do a little bit more writing to get there, but what is it for you? What did someone tell you once that has stuck with you? Go through your day in your mind from the moment you wake up in the morning before your feet hit the ground till the moment that your eyes close and you fall asleep that night. Just kind of go through your day. How many times a day do you have an insecure or shameful thought about your body? When does it start? Does it start when you take your pajamas off and catch a glimpse of your naked self in the mirror before hopping in the shower? Is it when you jump on the scale because you're obsessively weighing yourself? Is it when you get in the shower and there you are in all of your glory and it's hard to shave your legs because the stomach is big? Like, I have been there. I'm not making fun of you. I don't know you like that. I'm just going into my world and saying, here's the things that I've felt. Is it when you get to the office and you see other women and what they're wearing that day? Is it when you meet up with other moms? Is it when you visit each other at your houses? Is it when you're driving around and you see the billboards? Is like, what is it for you? What are the thoughts that you're feeling? I want you to really go there. And I keep using the word thoughts. I think mainly because I'm more of a thinker naturally than a feeler, but I really do want to put this in an emotional context. My assignment for you today, if you feel like you've written enough yesterday to kind of get a lot of those feeling juices flowing about your story and your relationship with your body, your before Island A place, then you can work off of that. But if not, I encourage you to go a little deeper. Do some more free writing. I'll probably be putting a prompt or a little worksheet up there as well in our file section today if that helps you. But I really want you to focus on finding or identifying 2, maybe 3, maybe patterns that you're seeing in your thinking and in your emotions about yourself. Let me get my notes because I feel like I'm starting to make things up. Identify 2 or 3 major themes in your story. 2 or 3 major shame themes in your story. 2 or 3 statements that you hear shame saying to you on a regular basis. So 2 or 3 things that you can identify shame saying or speaking into your life on a regular basis. That's part A. Part A is to identify those themes. Part B, this might be more of a challenge for you, but just like I did today, I took 9 things that shame says and I was like, that's crap and here's why. I want you to take those 2 or 3 shame themes that you're finding and I want you to write down why each and every one of those are bull crap. I want you to write down why it's a lie. I want you to write down what is actually true. And if you're having trouble with that, share with us. If you feel comfortable sharing on this page, I hope you do. I know it's kind of new and you're just getting to know me. But I want you to write down, here's my shame thought. And I cannot for the life of me think of why this isn't true. I can't for the life of me think what's another way to think about this. Because that's really our goal, right? Our goal is to take these thoughts that we really hope against all hope that they're not true, right? This can't possibly be my life. This can't possibly be as good as I can get. Our goal is to take those things and to transform our thinking and our feeling about them so that we can open up some possibilities, right? Isn't that why you're here? Isn't that why you joined Momentum Mindset? Is because you needed help with your mindset? Guys, your mind controls what ultimately becomes your feelings. And as we're going to talk about tomorrow in the final day 3 of our challenge, those thoughts that have become our feelings, those become our actions. Low power mode, 10%. Wow, that escalated quickly. So that is your challenge. Identify 2 or 3 major shame themes that you see as a pattern in your life, in the things that you're feeling and thinking. And for each and every one of those, tell me why that's crap. Tell me why that's a lie. Tell me what's true instead. And if you're having trouble figuring that part out, post on our page. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. And tomorrow we're going to talk about what the heck are we going to do with all that, right? As we wrap up, I wanted to share that thing that I kind of threw in at the last minute because it just so goes along with this. Last year I did by CD lesson, an 8-week course called Overcomers. Oh my gosh, what is the name of this guy who did this? All I can remember right now is that his last name is Hardy, I think. Oh man, this is going to bother me now, because I do not have this in order at all. Hardy Tillman. His first name is Hardy. Hardy Tillman. I believe it's Tillman. I have not been able to find him online yet because this lesson was from like the early 90s. But anyway, the first lesson was about not being a victim. And one of the major effects that shame has on us is that it causes us to have a victim mentality if we take those shame feelings and thoughts and don't do anything with them. If we just let them stay there, they're going to take root and they're going to build and they're going to grow, and it's basically going to become not someone else's voice anymore. It's not just shame. We end up adopting those as our own thoughts and feelings, and then we start telling ourselves those things. So why is shame so damaging, right? It distorts our view of ourself. It enforces a limited view of our own abilities. And ultimately, what I'm going to talk about now is that it creates a victim mentality, right? A victim mentality is basically where you have agreed to stop your personal growth and progress. You choose to be a victim. basically we stop growing emotionally. You might grow professionally, you might grow in other areas of your life, you might grow in knowledge and, school or whatever, but emotionally you're going to kind of stop growing once you've made this, maybe subconscious decision that you're a victim. We end up being victims because of the shame that we've allowed to take root. So if you're not sure if you're kind of already ventured into that victim mentality place, I just want to share quickly a few things, and then I'll sign off because I feel like I've been talking for about 2 hours now. If you have a victim mentality, it might look like this in your life right now. Victims are withdrawn. Victims are overly sensitive to others because they get their self-esteem from them. Victims look for offense even when there's none. Victims' relationships are filled with conflict. Victims make others walk on eggshells around them. It's hard to bring victims up after being hurt because victims believe the lie that's going on in their head. So it's kind of that Eeyore type syndrome where, oh, well, I already lost my tail. I don't know why I'll put it back on again. That was my Eeyore impression. I hope you liked that. Victims tend to marry other victims. That hits a little personal for some of us, maybe. Victims are controlled by our fears, especially fears about personal relationships. Victims maybe actually do really well in the workplace and in business because success there is not based on personal relationships. It's just based on what you do. Victims are controlled by others' perceived thoughts and motives, right? We're controlled by what we think other people's motives are, what we think other people are thinking about us, which goes back to that very first shame lie that I was talking about, right? Everybody's looking at my fat. Everybody's looking at this. Everybody's thinking this about me. Shame has convinced us that we just know what's going on in other people's minds, right? It must be hurtful. They must be thinking bad things. Victims have a lack of trust towards authority figures because, they might hurt us because we were already hurt. Maybe we even see everyone as an authority figure of some kind, right? If I'm giving power to other people in my mind I get my value from what I think they're thinking about me or how I think they're thinking I am or what I think they're thinking about my body. I just said think a lot. I'm giving them authority over me, basically. I'm giving them power to determine what I think about myself. It's kind of like a scary cycle. Victims won't trust enough to let themselves be loved, oftentimes. Victims are drawn to possibly children or working with children. They kind of identify with that emotional immaturity, okay? Victims possibly serve endlessly. They're trying to get value and esteem from what they do. And might even use service or serving as a way to avoid relating to or interacting with other people. Victims are full of critical attitudes. They're full of fault finding. Victims say harsh things and expect others to not be hurt by it. Turning the page. Where is the rest of my notes? Where did it go? There it is. And last but not least, victims' beliefs or faith can be easily affected by others' behaviors, others' thoughts, others' opinions. So I'm just going to kind of leave you guys with that. If you see yourself having a victim mentality, if any of those ring true, like honestly, about 99% of those ring true for me or have rung true for me in the past. So I want to encourage you to meditate on that. I want to encourage you to really embrace the challenge that's going on right now. If you haven't watched the day one video and done the day one challenge assignment, don't do this one yet. Go back to day one, do day one. That's going to lead you into today. Identify 2 or 3 major themes or major lies that you see shame saying to you on a daily basis. And for each of those, tell me why it's crap. Tell me why it's a lie. What's the truth instead? That's the challenge for you today. Tomorrow we're going to be wrapping up with day 3 of the free 3-day challenge. And tomorrow we're going to talk about now what? What do we do now that we know that there's this problem and that we have shame and that it's limiting us? Where do we want to get to, right? Yesterday we talked about that island A. Right now we're kind of swimming in the ocean. We're not sure like what's going on. Our goal is to eventually go through the water and get to our island B, our destination. And so tomorrow we're going to end kind of on an upswing, on a positive note, and talk about where do you want to be? Where do you want to end up with your body and your health and your fitness? And start thinking about ways to get there and how we're going to get there. What are you willing to do to get there? So again, I like to talk, and you've heard a lot of my train of thought today, but this really all is coming from a very authentic place, and most, if not all, of what I'm going to be speaking about in this community is something I've lived through or am working through or trying to work through at this time. So you're getting me. I hope that this was beneficial to y'all. If you'll have any questions, any feedback, please, please, please comment below. You can also email me if you have questions for next Wednesday's live Q&A, which is at 12 Central, 1 Eastern. Email me at heymomentummindset@gmail.com. Again, that address is in the description, and the free ebook called Shame Busters, which takes this topic and like explodes it and gives you a lot more information and resources. Shame Busters free ebook is my free gift to you for being a part of this wonderful new community. So I hope you check it out. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day. Bye.